What's up guys, Boston here with phoneflippers.com. Got a pretty cool video for you guys today. It's about unlocking AT&T devices. Every single time I buy a phone that's locked to AT&T, I always go through this protocol because, as you know, an unlocked device is going to be worth more than a carrier locked device. So it's always worth trying to see if you're able to do this. And I've made a lot of money throughout the years just by unlocking devices that were locked to AT&T. Now I'm going to go over which devices you can unlock, which ones you can't, and for the ones you can, the process to do that. Now, the first thing I do, of course, is you take the IMEI. Now, I imagine if you're buying and selling phones, you're already checking these through SICW or some similar software to make sure they're not blacklisted, understand if they're carrier locked or not. If it pops up as AT&T locked, what I like to do is I go to AT&T.com/device unlock, and it's going to bring you to this website right here. Now, you can select a brand, do all this, but actually, if you just go down here to submit an unlock request, where it says not an AT&T customer, and whether you are or aren't, this is the best way to do it. I am an AT&T customer, but it doesn't matter. It's actually easier if you just go here. So I'm going to go here. And instead of saying, do you have a mobile number? We'll just select no, we don't. And then we will paste in our IMEI as such. Select that you've read the legal info and then press next. Now, it's important that when you press next, you understand that if you get to this screen, you're in the clear for now. There's still things that could happen later, but if you can't make it here, what's going to happen is going to be a little message that pops up. There's a few potential errors you may get. The most common one is going to be this device has an installment plan that is not paid off or not able to unlock your device. If that's the case, this is the end of the road for you. You have a finance device. It's going to be locked to AT&T. You can't unlock it. Now, if you've made it here, here's what you're going to continue doing. Now, for these details you put in, none of this actually matters. So I just notoriously will spam random info in here. Now, email does matter because they will send you an email that you have to confirm the request with. So what I like to do, since I used to use my main email and then eventually they stopped letting me use that because I hit like a certain number of attempts with that email, I prefer to just use temp mail. If you go to temp-mail.org, it's going to give you a free temporary email address, which you can just copy to your clipboard. Then we'll go back here, paste it in, and then for confirming it, it doesn't let us paste it in again, so you do actually have to type it in correctly, which I will do here briefly. And then we will just submit our request from here. And here's the confirmation. It says, thanks, we got your request. We'll send you an email. So it'll take like 30 seconds. The email's going to send. Remember, if that little message popped up at the beginning, you can't make it here, it's not going to be unlocked. Now, if you make it here, there's a good chance you get it unlocked, but not 100%. And we'll go over a couple of those reasons. First of all, I would say most commonly it will get approved if you get to this point, and I'll show you what that looks like. So here's the email from AT&T. It says, heads up, you have 24 hours to confirm your unlock request. I'll just click on the email. It's going to open it up. So confirm our request. I'll want to just open this in a new tab. And it says, thanks for confirming. Here's your unlock request number. We'll email you when we reach a decision. Usually they send an email in like 2 or 3 minutes, but I actually just like to typically check my request status by clicking that. And then it's going to ask for the IMEI and the request number. So what I do is I grab this IMEI, copy it, paste it in, request number, copy, and paste it in. And there we go. It says current status approved, which is awesome. So just like that, it went from a carrier locked device to an unlocked device just by doing this simple website trick in a couple minutes. Now, once it's approved, you can recheck the IMEI and SICW. It will show as unlocked. Sometimes in settings, it'll still show SIM locked. Simply just power off and power the phone back on. Usually it'll update and show unlocked. Or you can pop a new SIM in. Regardless, you don't really need to because it is unlocked at that point. Whether it shows it in settings or not, the phone will eventually update on the next full restart. So that's the easiest method, path of least resistance. If your device is paid off, has no bumps in the road, you're going to get a status of approved. And like I said, most times when you make it past that first screen, you're going to get it approved. Now, sometimes it'll say pending, and that just means it hasn't come through yet. It'll be like 2 minutes before you get the update. It'll send you the email back to the temp mailbox. Let's see if they sent us another one. They may or may not have, just because we already checked it, but just wait another couple minutes. Okay, it says heads up, we approved your unlock request. Again, if it shows pending, you're probably just a little bit early because sometimes it takes a second. Now, if it shows denied, there's a couple reasons why, and I'm going to go back here. So it could say something like your device is paid off, but you need to have it 60 days on the account. It'll say something along the lines of 60 days. There's some sort of 60-day policy. It may even hit you with a past due balance on the account. And if the device is reported lost or stolen, it'll probably stop you from the very beginning. So at the end, there's really like two things that could happen outside of it being approved. And it's going to say, looks like the device you want to unlock is active on another AT&T account, or it was the AT&T USA purchased in the last 60 days. Now, the third thing would be actually a balance owed on the account or past due payment. So what this means is the phone itself is paid off, but whoever owned the phone before you has some other bill they haven't finished paying on their AT&T account. So there's actually three things that could pop up that would restrict you from getting this unlocked. Now, the good thing is there's options for all three of these. Now, if the installment plan happens at the very beginning, or you get something reported lost or stolen, you're actually done. So you're not going to be able to get past that. It's a locked device. But for any of these three reasons, there's alternative methods for unlocking this. Now, we use two softwares here. One is SIGW, which you're familiar with, and I'll go ahead and demo that first. So they offer two options. They offer the USA AT&T clean/active line. So if it's active on another account after you go through that check, for $7, you can put in the IMEI. It says 1 to 10 days. In my experience, it's usually only like 2 to 3 days tops. It'll come through unlocked for $7, which of course is well worth it, $7 to unlock your phone. And then for $24, you have the USA AT&T sold date 60 days. So if it hasn't been 60 days yet, of course, you'd come in here and do that. Alternatively, with the 60 days, you could just wait it out. I had a Samsung device. Since this particular service would not apply to Samsung, I had to just wait out the 60 days with Samsung, which was annoying, but it's just what you have to do. And then the Apple iPhone 6s to 14 models is the most important thing to note here. So this is what this service does. It unlocks the 60-day for AT&T, but it is iPhone 6s to 14 models. So your 15, 16, 17s, not going to be useful. With this, you will also have to wait it out. But for those other models, it's going to be a service that you definitely want to use because it is helpful. There's another thing on here which you could potentially use as opposed to just doing the AT&T website itself. And they do have a status service. If you go to status, AT&T USA status, and unlock, what it'll do is it'll show you what it is. So if it's active on another account, it'll pop up, and this one only takes 0 to 10 minutes. So for 30 cents, it'll just tell you exactly what it is. If it's eligible for unlock, if it's 60-day, active on another account, past due balance, etc., it's going to give you that full status. So that's a useful one if you want to just bypass this. I prefer to use the website because it is kind of easy, but that's something you can decide to do. Up to you completely. The next website is going to be Hammer Fusion. So similarly, I'll start off by mentioning that under AT&T iPhone services, they have a similar one. This one's 20 cents. Checker plus unlock tool. There's no refunds on this service, and it tells you if it can be unlocked. It gives you the status. It's the exact same thing as the one I just showed you on SIGW. Now, Hammer Fusion, you will have to, I think there might be an application to create an account. I got in pretty easily. I don't think it's that hard to get in, or maybe, you can just sign in. Now, it's been a while since I created this account, but they have a bunch of cool IMEI services. It's important to note that same with SIGW, a bunch of their services rotate in and out. So sometimes, I know they had one in the past that was for T-Mobile. It's no longer working. Their services constantly are changing. Sometimes they go down. Sometimes they're working well. It's the same thing with SIGW. They're always rotating in different things. So understand that. The big one, well, I'm accidentally clicking things here, but the big one on Hammer Fusion is this one. So the AT&T past due, if there's a past due bill, for $30, you're able to unlock that. So that solves the third problem we mentioned. Obviously, I've already showed you the solution to the first two being the 60-day active on another account. And now this one is past due balance. You're able to get past that lock for $30. And again, this one, it says service speed 12 to 48 hours. Usually you're looking in that 2 to 3-day range, I would say. This one, it says, is only 12 to 48 hours. So probably on the farther end of that, if I had to guess, 48 hours or so, you would get that unlocked. Now, they do have a 60-day service as well, and it's only $14.90. So this one at the time is cheaper than SickW. So if you had a 60-day locked AT&T device, I would recommend using Hammer Fusion because it's about $10 cheaper at the moment. And it just makes more sense. It's the same service. Come in here and you would get that done. It says all iPhone models. That's something I have yet to know if it's true, because I did try a 16 on here and it wasn't working. So who knows if that's true or not. But again, that 6S to 14 range, you should certainly be good. And if this one doesn't work, they will give you a full refund. I don't know if SickW does that. For this service, I have gotten refunded when it doesn't work. So that's good to know. That's how you can unlock those AT&T devices. And another method I'll say, and this one does not apply to blacklisted or yet to be paid off installment plans, but for your other ones, sometimes if I just call the AT&T help and support number and you get the AI voice and you just keep repeatedly saying, speak to an agent, no matter what the question the little AI voice asks you, eventually you'll get put through. And if you can get through with a competent rep, a lot of the times they'll just unlock your device once you provide the IMEI. You don't even have to have an AT&T account, nothing like that. Just keep calling till you get someone who knows what they're doing. Isn't some, foreign worker who you can hardly even hear, but someone who's kind of sensible, not just reading off a script, trying to collect hourly paychecks, and eventually you'll probably find someone who's competent. I've done that many times in a pinch when I've had like weird issues with locked when it shouldn't be. I've called AT&T and they've always sorted it out for me. So that's, again, just another way to do that. But that's all the known methods I know for unlocking AT&T. I'm pretty sure there's some websites out there where you could pay a premium for unlocking AT&T phones. Now you'd be looking in the $200 to $300 range. And a lot of websites out there are pretty sketchy, especially the ones you would look up with like a basic Google search. All going to be stuff that doesn't work. So I'd err with caution on that. These are the ways I know for sure you can unlock AT&T phones because I've used them many, many times. And it's added so many profits to my business, probably thousands of dollars at this point when you add it all up. Because of course, unlocked versus locked, way more money. So hopefully this was helpful. Pretty nuanced thing here. Something you may not run into every day, but over the course of a month or a year, it'll really start to add up for you when you know how to do stuff like this. So I hope that's helpful. If you guys want help with your phone flipping business, you want to get more devices, you want to make upwards of 10K plus profit per month, definitely check out some of the links below. I've got a group. You can message me, talk about where you're at in your business, and I'd be happy to help you. Or just go to phoneflippers.com and you'll get guided on that website. It's made to help you get the help you need with your business, whether you're trying to just start out or scale up as aforementioned. So definitely check that out. Again, hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.